Well, good morning and welcome to week 3. Starting today off with a bang. We noticed as we were leaving town last night that we had a dry stretch ahead of us. So we each packed out of town about 3.5 to 4 liters, and we had about 8 miles last night, camp, and then about 13 miles today before we see water. We all woke up today with about 1.5 to 2 liters for this 13-mile stretch, which, if you've been paying attention, isn't enough. So it's going to be a thirsty stroll into siesta time. You know, the moon has been creeping towards full for the last few days. And it's out during that time of day where, well, time of day and time of night where it's blinding and impossible to fall asleep because it is bright. However, last year on the AT, we talked about a couple times how we wanted to do a night hike with the full moon and just be out having fun in the dark / light of the moon. And the full moon is the day that we are leaving Kearny. So we're talking about it. We might night hike coming out of Kearny. Something else I forgot to mention, right as we were leaving Tucson, we saw that news had broken that they are going to be reopening the Grand Canyon May 15th. Now that doesn't help me especially well here now, because I'm going to be on the PCT at that time. So I still can't do the entire Arizona Trail ahead of time. However, I'm still now back in that questioning phase of, am I going to kind of stick with this relaxed pace, stick with the friends I've made, only go as far as Flagstaff and Humphreys, the highest peak in the state, and kind of get off there, leaving myself about 200 miles of the Arizona Trail after the PCT. Or I can push away from my friends, really get my legs pumping, finish all of the trail except for the Grand Canyon section, and then come back and finish that whenever. So that's going to be what I need to figure out over the next 3 or 4 days. Evil.
Come on, that was a valid reason to scream. The fucking lizard fell from the sky. Is he okay?
Well, that was a nice little 6-hour siesta. This afternoon's going to be a lot slower. I'm going to take my time and relax. It's good to have a nice morning workout push, I think, and then take the afternoon to just take it all in and relax and try not to overheat yourself in the, heat. Quick side note, I did notice it happening while we were sitting in the shade all day, but it got hot out here. Like, it is hot. I don't know how hot. I don't have phone service, but ooh, it's spicy. Okay. Bye, bunny. One thing that has really surprised me out here. You ready for this? It's the amount of color there is. And I know what you're thinking. Hey man, we can see behind you. Brown, green, and a whole lot of blue above you. It's kind of all the colors. But if you look close, you'll see some pinks and purples, some oranges and reds, occasional yellows. It's pretty. You just gotta look. I don't know if you guys are getting sick of these sunrises, but I know I'm not. Well, guten Morgen. It's a great, great morning. Don't know why, no real reason for it. I mean, the weather's good. I slept like a baby, haven't had that happen in a while. I guess I had access to a toilet this morning, that was pretty cool. Got some fresh water, and we only have 18 miles today. We've been doing 15 before siesta. Leaving 3 miles for the afternoon sounds stupid. So we're gonna siesta around 12 miles in today, which feels stupid because we're gonna get there at 9 o'clock in the morning, even the slow people. And then we're only gonna have 6 miles left, so it means we don't even have to leave until 4 o'clock. It just lined up kind of weird. We have like 9 more miles into Kearny tomorrow. We could tack on 9 miles today, but that puts it at almost a 30. So then that gets to be kind of crazy, and then you're getting into town, taking an extra 0 for what? Just so you could say you did a 30 the day before? Doesn't make a ton of sense. Crazy windstorm last night. And not storm, I guess, but for like 2 hours as I was trying to fall asleep, the wind was just whipping. And like making my tent go nuts. I guess Liz and Tripod were both up out of their tents trying to deal with the carnage that the wind was dealing, while both Milkman and I, who both have Durston X mid 2s, just a little plug for that, we're both fine. I kind of feel bad for poor Tripod, but he just wanted to get on trail for a couple of days, and we were like, all right, buckle up, Buttercup. The day you hop on trail, you're gonna follow that up with 320s before we go into town. And don't get me wrong, the dude's a triple crowner. He's done a lot of hiking in his life, but even he said he hasn't hiked in a year. He's been driving around, doing trail magic and going on other adventures. Most of them involve sitting. So I just realized that, geographically speaking, we're in a bit of a lull for the next week or so. I don't think we climb above 5,000 feet until we get into these Superstitions, which are 60 miles ahead of us, I want to say, 70 miles ahead of us. And, you know, we're getting into Kearny, taking a 0. And then Jolly's going to show up that day. And we're not sure if we're planning on hiking out that night to do the full moon hike, or if we're gonna hike out the next morning. The Superstitions are the mountains on the east side of Phoenix. And as long as I've lived there, I've never gone over there and hiked. I do all my hiking in the West Valley, which, after looking at things, I've noticed that all the West Valley mountains are way shorter or lower. I don't know if they're shorter per se. Like baseline might be higher over there. Like I don't know how it all works, but I know Tripod said that last year he did a few days in the Superstitions as a warm-up for this trail, because he did the Arizona Trail last year. And he said the Superstitions are tough, so got that to look forward to next week. You see? Kinda nothing north. I'm so very confused right now. Yesterday, I pushed myself hard, like really hard all morning, to get to our siesta spot. And then when I did the math, I ended up averaging like right at 3 miles an hour. Conversely, today, I don't know if you can tell by the video, but I am just strolling. Casual stroll, no effort whatsoever. And then I just looked, and in the last hour and 10 minutes, I've gone 3.9 miles for an average speed of 3.36. I'm a math guy, but someone help me make that math, please.
I mean, wow. It's not good, but
It's not good.
it's not the worst.
Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is we just had another great siesta spot. We had infinite water. We had infinite shade. We just got to hang around and hang out. The bad news is that I am not on the trail right now. I walked quite a ways off, apparently. So now I'm working my way back. Looks like probably about a half mile. Whoops. Well, now that we're back on trail, I can take a minute to tell you about all of the wildlife I've seen in the last 24 hours. Trey, look away for a second. I saw a rattlesnake. I saw 2 more Gila monsters. I saw a cow. I've seen a lot of cows, but this one was on the trail and staring at me all menacingly. It's been a cool day. Other than that, walk off trail. That sucked a lot. But got a really nice breeze. Don't even need the umbrella. It's just, I think we're in the 70s with a breeze. It's a good day. It's just so big out here. Look at everything. This is so much fun.
Welcome to my home. It's actually quite spacious.
Well, good morning. It's a hell of a start to the day. 2 miles of just climbing up and up and up and up. However, we got a late start. And do you know why we got a late start? Because we're going to town. It's the day to get pizza. Maybe some root beer. A bed, a shower, a toilet. All the things to make me feel not gross. Hello. What a way to start the day. Big climb up here. You know, one of the big fun differences I've noticed between the AT and at least this, and from what I've gathered, every other trail out west, you can see people. Milkman's 200 yards ahead of me. Liz and Tripod are 200 yards behind me. And all I gotta do is look up the ridgeline or look back to the mountain we're just climbing, and you can see them. Whereas on the AT, if someone left 2 or 3 minutes before you in the morning, you probably weren't gonna see them until you got to a water source or a break. Well, good morning. We are out of Kearny. We've got about 18 and a half miles to do today. But this is supposed to be like the notoriously hottest section of trail. Between between Kearny, going through the Gila, along the Gila River, until we get to the Superstitions. Because of our sweet days 5 through 10 heat streak, this is fine. It's like 80 today, I think, for a high. Oh, it's gonna be great. We got 18 and a half miles today, another 18 and change tomorrow, to go into Superior. We have officially added Jolly to the party. We also met up with 2 other hikers at the trailhead Rooster and I forgot the other guy's name, which sucks. Rooster is doing the Arizona Trail like we are. The other gentleman is not. He's doing a larger trail that I forgot the name of. We're walking. We're making miles. By the way, Kearny is an incredible little town. We had a trail angel, James, who came out and picked us up from the trail, drove us to a restaurant, had breakfast with us, took us to the hotel, gave us a ride to dinner the next night, and a ride home, and then a ride back to the trail this morning. So James, you're incredible. I mean, everyone said Kearny was incredible. They claim to be the nicest town on the trail. And I don't really have a reason to argue with that. I should also point out that both Tripod and Jolly are triple crowners. Now, I know I've used that term in the past, but I don't think I ever explained it. To be a triple crowner, you must hike the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail. All in total, roughly 8,000 miles. I did the AT last year. PCT is going to be this year. Plan is for CDT next year so that I can have my triple crown. See, it's nice to talk to these guys who have way more experience than I do. We were discussing pacing and how I walk faster than most people because I'm a giant. I couldn't figure out why that day I was pushing so hard. I was moving slower than the day I was just casually strolling. He's like, you're gonna learn that over time, that casual strolling pace just gets faster than your workout pace. So, I guess I don't need to push myself that hard. I can just kind of walk and I'm gonna get there just as quick. I forgot to mention the reason that Jolly is joining us at such a weird place. He was on a trail last year. And when he got to Kearny, it was 102 degrees. Additionally, last year, both Tripod and Jolly have mentioned, and the far out comments have echoed, that everybody was getting sick in this area. Everybody was getting noro in the Gila section. I just hope that I truly am immune. So like I said earlier, we're walking along the Gila all day today. And those trees down there is where the Gila runs. Every once in a while you can see a little spot where the water's coming through, but for the most part it's just a bunch of trees, which is great because that's where we're gonna go down and relax for our siesta in like 3 miles.
He's doing a... Make eye contact with him while you do it. He's looking. He just did a mini one.
I win.
38, 39. He got 40.
Damn it.
There are an absurd number of butterflies out here. I said butterflies. Nope. There are an absurd number of grasshoppers out here. But despite that, and this is supposed to be the hardest, hottest, whatever section of trail, we've got a nice overcast, nice breeze, and it's just not the heat wave of last week. So this is nice. We've got access to water all day. It's disgusting water, but it's water. So it's not bad at all. We are rapidly approaching the lowest point on the entire trail, which is here in the Gila River Valley, down to like 1,600 and something feet, which is about what my house is at. But after that, we get to climb up, and then I think we dip down again here in a couple of days. But then I want to say we're up above 5,000 feet for the rest of the trail, starting really soon. So the desert section is coming to an end. It's seriously wild how lush it is around the river when everything else is still barren desert. Oh, we just got a couple of miles to go till camp, and it has been a very pleasant day. Took a couple of nice long breaks. Handstand, went swimming. I'm gonna revert to calling her handstand now because there's a whole bunch of us. We got to filter a bunch of water. It was disgusting. Like, we filtered water and then back flushed our filters, and black water came out. Like, the Gila is disgusting water. A couple of, I guess, shout outs I'd like to give really quick. Every video so far has had Liz's YouTube and Instagram links in the description. Last week, I also added Milkman's, but I forgot to mention on here that Milkman is also doing YouTube. So check him out. I watched one of his videos last night. He's got some really, really good nature shots. Like, if you want to see what's pretty out here, he's got great shots in there. And now we've added Jolly. Jolly's 28 years old. He's about to have a kid, and he owns a clothing company called Jolly Gear. Makes really, really cool hiking attire. I know a lot of you guys aren't wearing hiking attire, but they're really, really comfortable clothes. And I'm definitely buying one because I've wanted one for a long time, and they look super comfortable. It's a really cool, really diverse group I got out here. This canyon is just gorgeous. Look at this. Good morning. It is 4:30 and we are off and moving. We're doing today a little different. We've got 18 miles until we hit 60. For those of you in Phoenix, you know where we are. We're gonna try to do the entire 18 miles by noon. Take the rest of the day off in Superior, and then get a ride back out to the trailhead and camp there tonight. So I'll bring you back when we can see. So we have been walking through this canyon all morning, and it was cool because this morning was like the first time we didn't all leave camp together. We kind of staggered out minutes apart. So all morning, you could just look across the canyon and see headlamps just kind of dotted around the area. Well, we're basically done climbing for the day. The first like 5 miles are all uphill, and now it's going to be kind of a gradual descent until we get to 60. There's supposed to be a water source up here ahead of me in about 2 miles, so I think that's where I'm going to stop and look at this. Ooh. That's where I'm going to stop and wait for everyone to catch up. I literally just said we're done climbing, and then I saw this. This is a rainwater collector. Probably the 4th or 5th one on trail. Outside of water caches, cow tanks, the occasional stream, this is where we get water. Moving again. got to take a nice like hour-long break while I waited for everyone else to catch up and filter water and take their little breaks. But now we've got, well, probably 9 miles to go until we get to 60. And then we're gonna go into Superior. And from a recommendation from my boy Joel, we're gonna get some barbecue. But before that, we're gonna hit mile marker 300. You can tell we're doing slightly more than 100 miles a week because we started on a Sunday. Our first 100-mile marker was like late Saturday afternoon. 200-mile marker was the next Saturday morning. And now 300 is going to be at Friday afternoon. So we're chopping off little bits at a time and doing a little over 100 a week. There's no rattle back there. You guys want something cool? Are you ready? That's pretty cool. All right, we're back walking. The other guys had a much easier time getting a hitch than I did. However, that worked out well because I gave up and called a trail angel who was incredible. MJ is awesome. She actually won an award last year for like the trail angel of the year. She came and picked me up, took me back to her house. Then she's like, here's the keys to my car. Like, drive around, do all your errands. And it was awesome. She was incredible. Then we went back to her house. We showered. We talked to her for a while. We hung out until it's 20 after 6 and we're just now starting. And now we're going to try to do whatever. We have nothing in mind. We're going to walk until we find a campsite, hopefully in the first 15 to 20 minutes. Well, good morning. I don't think you're going to get the bright and chipper version of Luke this morning because for whatever reason, a hurricane decided to land in the middle of Arizona last night. And we've had 20 to 40 mile an hour wind blowing for about 12 and a half hours. It collapsed my tent on me twice last night. I may have gotten an hour of sleep. I'm tired. I've been walking directly into this wind for the last hour. We've got a giant climb about 8 miles ahead of us. So I'm hoping, I don't know what I'm hoping. I'm tired. This climb is going to be miserable. I just have no energy because I got no sleep. So it's going to be a crappy day. But I'm going to do what I can to liven it up for your entertainment. I noticed during my editing last night that a whole bunch of my recordings had the audio really distorted. I'm sure you guys noticed. I had to leave a few of them in because it was most of what I recorded yesterday. I mentioned it at camp because it's happened a few times over the last week or so. And I didn't know why. And as soon as I mentioned it, tripod immediately chirped in with, were you wearing headphones? Yep. Do the headphones have a microphone? Yep. That's exactly what did it. They are not good for recording out here in nature. So that will not happen anymore in the future. Sorry for the distorted audio in this week's video, but yeah, problem solved. As for today, Jolly and I just sat and hung out at a water source for probably an hour, waiting for everyone else to catch up. Milkman showed up halfway through. The other two were just taking their time, probably busting out that Tyvek for a break or two on the way. But we have a giant climb ahead of us, 2,500 feet. Over 5 miles. Once we get to the top of that, we will stop again, wait for everyone to catch up, take a long break, and then we'll have 10 comparatively easy miles to go until camp. Not exactly the vegetation I was expecting near the top of this hill. Well, what a climb that was. Here I sit at the saddle at the top of this climb, and that was pretty. But I did it way, way faster than everyone else. So I'm just gonna be sitting here. Oop. Eating my Fritos. Drinking some water. Waiting for them to show up and listen to some music. And staring at these ants. There's a lot of ants. I fed them a Frito. That might not be ethically correct, but it is interesting watching them handle this Frito.
Ooh, sorry.
We had a great break up at the saddle. I get to sit around and wait for everyone to catch up. I think I spent like 2.5 hours total there, but good and recovered. Now we have come down quite a bit. We have to go up one more climb. It's another one of those 1,000-footers that I'm gonna keep calling bumps because I'm cocky. And then we have like a 5-mile gentle downhill to camp. So, hopefully this uphill doesn't kill me. Well, now that we've made our way a bit north and we're in the Superstitions, we're getting some new flowers. We got some new pinks, some new purples, some new oranges, some new yellows, and even a purple-yellow combo. Interesting. Mountain conquered. And as a bonus, I looked and we're only 3.4 miles away from camp, not 5. So that's better. I was just thinking, when I hike on the west side of Phoenix, in the White Tanks, the highest peak I hit is Barry Goldwater at 4,000 feet. I've never come over here to the Superstitions, but right now I'm at 5,300 feet, and there are big mountains in, ooh, look at that one, like every direction. So, I mean, you're looking at well up over 6,000 feet probably over here. I knew the Superstitions were bigger than the White Tanks and the Estrellas and everything else on the east side of town, or west side, I mean, but I didn't realize they were that much bigger. I will definitely be coming over here more often because this is awesome hiking. You guys remember like 3 hours ago when I was in a super windy desert? Weird. I almost forgot to record a goodbye for the week. So, sorry. I guess now is as good a time as any. This week was awesome. Adding Jolly to the group was great. Milkman's great. Tripod's great. Next week we get Jabba. And then the party is complete. So until then, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.